This is an unusual sight on the streets of an American city. But in the state of Virginia, carrying a gun in public is legal.
It's a Glock 19X.
This day, thousands of armed protesters arrived in the capital city, Richmond, to remind state legislators that the U.S. Constitution protects the right to have guns.
The Second Amendment right, it's a natural right.
Concerned about violence from extreme and fringe groups, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam declared a state of emergency and banned all guns from the grassy field around the Capitol, the site of the actual rally. Virginia used to be a reliably conservative state. That all changed in last November's election when Democrats won control of the State House and started passing gun control bills.
Winds of over 100 kilometers per hour have battered the Mediterranean coast and the Balearic Islands. Storm Gloria has caused a number of casualties. Amongst the dead is a man hit by a roof tile in Pedro Bernardo, Ávila, and a woman who was sleeping in a park in Gandia. Up to 6 provinces are on maximum alert because of the storm that has been affecting Spain since the weekend. The storm Gloria has brought historic snowfalls in Teruel, Castellón and Valencia. The snow has also caused traffic problems with more than 100 roads cut off. The Catalan coast is on red alert due to heavy swells. Rain and wind have forced the closure of Alicante Airport and the ports of Valencia and Gandia.
And social and environmental concerns have been a part of the agenda prominently. Apart from that, U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to speak at the World Economic Forum. The White House has unveiled a list of leaders that Donald Trump will be meeting at the forum. The leaders he will be meeting includes Iraqi President and Pakistani Prime Minister. Donald Trump also intends to meet with Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, and Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum founder. These are the latest images that we are getting to you from the Swiss town of Davos, which is hosting the World Economic Forum.
South Korea has decided to dispatch troops to the Strait of Hormuz near Iran to protect South Korean nationals and ships passing through. But it will not be sending them as part of the U.S.-led coalition, instead operating independently to avoid creating friction with Iran.
An official from Seoul's defense ministry said on Tuesday that South Korea's Cheonghae unit, currently on anti-piracy missions in waters of Somalia, is to expand its operating area to the Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf, including the Strait of Hormuz, for an unspecified period of time due to rising tensions in the Middle East. 2 liaison officers will be sent to the Bahrain-based International Maritime Security Construct, the coalition of countries tasked with maintaining security in the region, to make preparations for the unit's 6-month mission, which began Tuesday.
Con esa cantidad, ¿verdad? Imposible que nadie vea.
¿Se incautaron las imágenes del circuito cerrado?
Sí, se incautó el circuito cerrado, celulares de los intervinientes, computadoras, libro de actas.
Para ingresar a la penitenciaria regional de Pedro Juan Caballero para realizar
Well, it was a letter of intent signed in the US Embassy in Berlin that could mark changes for Pristina and Belgrade, the first commercial flights between the two in 21 years. The Lufthansa Group and its subsidiary Eurowings are at the centre of this. The CEO saying here that air transport stands for bringing people from different origins together peacefully, saying by establishing an air link, Kosovo and Serbia are taking a step towards rapprochement on the initiative of the United States. Now, the president of the US did comment on this via Twitter, calling this another win, saying it's the first time in a generation that there will be direct flights between the two. Now, that theme of success weaved through the tweets, both for the Kosovan president and for his Serbian counterpart. The Kosovan leader here saying that it's an important step for the movement of citizens and the normalization process.
The Spring Festival holidays don't begin until Friday, but in Beijing, millions of people are already on the move. Many of them are returning home to celebrate with their families. But the outbreak has now taken a critical turn. One of the country's leading epidemiologists confirmed there have been cases of human-to-human transmission. Most victims were previously thought to have been infected by animals. Still, health experts in China say the situation is not as bad as many people fear.
It took us only 2 weeks to identify the novel coronavirus. With well-rounded monitoring and quarantine systems, I don't think it will cause the same social and economic impact SARS did 17 years ago.
Authorities have been criticized for not sharing more details. On the social media app Weibo, many compared it to the handling of SARS. The 2003 epidemic killed more than 700 people.
Concerns are growing within and around China over this new strain of coronavirus, which could cause potentially deadly pneumonia. But the infection does not only happen in China alone, but also in 3 other Asian nations so far, including Thailand, Japan, and South Korea. Here in Thailand, we have 2 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Both are travelers from China. The first one has already been treated and released to go home. And the second one, who is a 74-year-old female tourist from China, she is now receiving medical treatment at a medical center in Nonthaburi province, just outside Bangkok.
We have to bring it back home now, where a taxi driver in the Limpopo province is currently in hot water for loading 58 kids into his quantum taxi. But for more on this, I'm joined on the line by Joel Siabi, spokesperson for Limpopo Transport and Community Safety.
Look, it's a very unfortunate incident where people just decide to disregard the law in such a gross manner. I mean, that vehicle could have carried a load that perhaps goes to about 3 vehicles at a go. So it's quite a very sad incident of law infringement on the road. But I must indicate that MEC Namani Masemola for our department has since condemned the matter and ensured that, he urged the law enforcement to ensure that they bring these people to book.
Next tonight here, the scare on the highway in Mississippi, a charter bus exploding in flames carrying students from the University of Alabama. The driver says he hit something on the road just beforehand. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, that terrifying close call. These University of Alabama students narrowly escaping this burning charter bus. You can see deep orange flames and thick black smoke shooting into the air. 29 passengers scrambling to grab their belongings and get out of harm's way. Then, an explosion. The bus carrying the students from a fraternity formal in New Orleans back to school in Tuscaloosa, when authorities say an unknown object suddenly fell from an 18-wheeler, puncturing the back tire of the bus.